No step parent can touch me.
Exact. You hear what I mean?
No
so
step
no
parent can
step
touch
parent not touch my picnic. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel.
Woo, woo.
This week is something that Femi wanted to talk about.
Of course.
And we're going to be talking about behavioral management. Is that what we're doing?
Yes, that's what we're doing.
We're going to be talking about behavioral management. It's something that it's quite a thing in this house because we have two different approaches to parenting, and obviously as a step parent sometimes I'm like, maybe you're overstepping, or I don't feel right, should I be allowing this or allowing that? So it's something that I've been fighting myself with and trying to give Femi more of a rein when it comes to disciplining Travion and being comfortable with that, and just saying, you know what, he's a young boy, he does need more discipline than I, his mother, give him, because if you know me, Travion's sport when it comes to that's my baby. And obviously we have a daughter now and it has to be fair. Yes. But obviously they're different age groups, so fair is a bit varied. You know what I mean for now. So let's get into it. So one thing that I said once Femi was indicted into the Hall of Stepfather was that there'll be no hitting.
Say what?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Like, for me, you just can't hit my son. It's not something I am prepared to negotiate. It's not something that I care to talk about or care if anyone even says, but Shan, you know, he takes care of Travion, and so what? You're not hitting him. That's for me. Growing up now, my step parent could beat me. And, you know, back in the days, beatings were a thing. It's not frowned upon, it's not. But from my experience, I was like, it now got and ain't nobody changing my mind. I've spoken to other people, other parents my age who are in similar situations that had step parents as well, like I did, and they said most of them said yes, their step parents also was allowed to beat them. It's for a disciplining procedure, because back then, what is a what do you call it? What is grounded? Back then, what is grounded?
What does that even mean?
What does that even mean? It don't make sense now. Yeah. So obviously beating was the forefront of punishment. Yeah. But we're in a different century, and I feel like beating is just like a form of slavery.
Fair enough. So, no, to add to that, I guess, like, obviously you grew up on beats, I grew up on beats.
Mm.
I appreciate those beats. As me,
I was bad. You beat me and I go back and I do it.
I'll be the most top gangster in the UK right now if it wasn't for them beats that kept me sane. Yeah, I say that. No,
I understand that.
Yeah, because I feel like at the time when you're getting beats, you don't understand. When you grow older, to some extent, you understand, especially when you see
I'm
other
still
kids,
trying to understand.
When you see other kids and the way that they react. I'm going to ignore you. Other kids and the way they react.
That's the thing. I think there's a difference. You didn't have a step parent.
Yeah.
So obviously,
no step parent can touch me.
Exact. You hear what I mean?
No
so
step
no step parent not touch my picnic. Coming in night.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? That's coming from someone that I guess he didn't have a step parent, but from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. Well, that's my mentality.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's your mentality, but the mother would have been like, beat!
Yeah. But, yeah, obviously, coming into this relationship, I knew how Shan felt about hitting Trey. And obviously, she told me, and I respected that. And that was my choice to be like, okay, yes, I'm going to stay, or I don't want to stay if I'm not able to discipline Trey. But obviously...
But no,
wait.
Yeah.
But obviously, knowing that I'm not allowed to beat him didn't mean that I wasn't allowed to discipline him. Yeah? So there's two different ways. Being a Nigerian, if you're a Nigerian, you know about the ranges of punishment that don't involve your parents lifting a finger. Like, kneel down, hands up, close your eyes, go on your knees. All these ranges of punishment, which is more than sufficient.
Yeah.
And I guess with Trey, I've employed that same thing, but I started slow. Slow, obviously, because he's young. You start with, you're on timeout. Sit in the corner. Don't touch nothing. But as they grow older and you realise that, hey, this is having no impact whatsoever, you up it a level, put your hands up, this, that. And obviously, when they get put on those kind of punishment,
Trevion hates it. The tears that flows from that eye. Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I feel so sorry for him. Yeah. So as soon as Femi leaves the room, I'm like,
break.
Take a break, baby. Take a break. And Femi comes back. I'm like, put your hands up like you're doing it all the time. And I know that's really bad, but I think most moms can relate. We are soft, so soft when it comes to our sons. Like with Zena, I'd be like, but and she's just one. But when it comes to our sons, it's like we cuddle them. And I now need to realize Trevion's at the age where he needs constant discipline, or else he may go down a path I don't want him to go down. So I'm grateful that I have Femi, I have my brother, that will just be like, so yeah, try one big. And so that discipline is definitely needed for a child. And I feel like if you have someone that's a step parent, whether that be a male or female, they need to have that reins to say, you are allowed to discipline my child. Because if you don't, that child's going to play on it. They're going to be like, what are you going to do? My mom's not here to discipline me. So shut up, stepdaddy or stepmommy, because you can't do nothing. And now that's going to cause a rift between you and your partner, because your child now don't have no respect for that partner.
I think also with that being said, like, you need to go about it a way that is respectful. Number one, respectful. Number two, where you both kind of discuss and talk about it. To some extent, it doesn't have to be like a real deep, but you must have some sort of conversation about it where you have a common sort of understanding. And I also feel like as a step parent, you also need to be mindful that you're not being too harsh. Because with me sometimes, when I'm disciplining Trey, like, I try my hardest to make sure that I'm being as fair as possible. It's with me, what I always try to do is ensure the punishment warrants the action, and ensure that Trey's been given chances. I don't go about just, okay, you did punishment, or that punishment, I give him chances, I give him warnings, I say to him, look, if you continue, you're going to be on punishment. And then when I kind of give him like that final, if you continue, you're going to be on punishment, and he does something, he goes on punishment, no if, buts or maybes, like straight to let him know that when I say you're getting on punishment, if you do it again, it means you're getting on punishment.
Yeah, definitely. I must say, when I say Trevion's going on punishment, he's just looking at me like, sure, mom.
Because he never goes on punishment.
So when Femi says you're going on punishment, that one, he's like, do you want water? What do you want me to do? You want me to draw? So it's nice that we have that balance of discipline now. And obviously, he's a boy. Sometimes he will try and contest Femi's discipline. Sometimes it'll come across like he's not listening to Femi because he's trying to be rebellious, but he knows once that punishment slaps, hey, then you'll be looking at me like, mommy. But then that's where I have now had to go and realize, you know what, I can't always cuddle you and save you as a young man. It's not going to happen. So as much as when his hands are up with the books, because Femi's adding weight. He's adding weight to that hand.
I'm making it strong.
He's adding weight, and then you see him crying, and then your heart is like, oh my God. But it's just realizing he's not doing anything. Can I talk?
Finish.
Yeah, I just have to realize he's not doing anything to harm Trevion. He's doing it to make sure that he stays on a path clear of any kind of turmoil, basically. Because if we keep letting him get away with stuff in the house, what you do in the house is what you're going outside to do, unfortunately.
It's funny because when I see him cry, it hurts me as well. Oh. It's weird. Like,
you don't look like you when you cry.
Trust me, it hurts. And that's usually definitely the times where I'm asking myself, am I being fair? Is it too much? And then I think about, okay, how many chances was he given? Did I speak to him? Did I warn him? What did he do? I think it's fair. Does he really understand? Because if he's done something today and I've given him loads of chances and he goes on punishment, that first punishment I give him, it might be light, it might be easy. And then if in a few days time he does the same thing after I've given him chances, that punishment, it won't be light, because obviously it's only been a few days where you've been on punishment for something, and then
This
you
is
get
legit
the same
our
thing,
household, yeah.
and you're continuing. So those tears that you now cry, those crocodile tears, I don't see them at all. You must eat the full punishment that you deserve.
But yeah, but definitely, it's a learning process for us. As I keep saying, this channel is, as much as we're doing this channel, it's a journey for us as well. We're just videoing the journey along the way, because Femi's never been a step parent before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've never had no one around my son but his dad, and now I'm trying to maneuver what is fair. It's a process. It's hard. I think a lot of people don't realize. I think the reason I fear sometimes this discipline thing is I don't want Travian to one day turn around and be like, but mom, you made my stepdad do this, or stepdad do this or that. And I think that's a lot of unspoken things that us mothers that or fathers allow someone else into our life. It's the fear that's never spoken of, and that's from me. And that came from, you're never going to hit my son.
Yep.
It's not going to happen. I don't care if his biological dad believes in beats, then that would be between him and his biological dad. You know what I mean? And it's not taken away from Femi and saying, oh, but his biological dad is allowed to beat him, but you're not. No, you're not. You're not. And I'm thankful that before the biological dad and I came to an end, that we agreed that we would not beat our child, and until this day we both don't. And I do see where people come from that beats works, because sometimes I tell you, I want to hold his coconut head and I want to just do nothing because I'm not being reported to the coconuts. So let us know in the comments what are some of your behavioral managements that you've implemented once you started dating someone new, what are the do's and don'ts. We hope you enjoy this channel, and come back, subscribe, subscribe, and thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.